Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen. I am James Yoder, the face of Michigan football media. Stock up, stock down after 2 weeks of play for the Michigan football team. Let's take a look at the 3 players or personnel groups or coaches that I have on this week's Stock Up. First up on the list is the star of Game 1, mostly in the first half, but he really turned it on, and that is none other than Kuran Higden. Higden with 140 yards rushing in the first quarter. Big time game for him. Really showed what he can do again. I think some people forgot about him after a really rudimentary performance against Notre Dame. Following several rudimentary performances down the stretch in 2017, came back in 2018 with after having 994 yards, something like that, in 2017 as a junior. He said himself, hey, if I would have got 1,000 yards last year, I would have gone pro for my junior year. I don't think he'd been drafted very high. Coming back, and he has proven that Michigan may just have an all Big Ten caliber running back, something they've really been missing for the past better part of a decade, really since Mike Hart left after the 2007 season. You see his stats so far today, most of that damage coming against Western Michigan in week 2 in the second game of the year. 34 carries, 228. You take a look at that 6.7 yards per carry. Crazy enough, Chris Evans and Kuran Higden right now in their careers at Michigan are both in the top 7 in yards per carry, which I would not have believed in if I hadn't looked that up, saw someone tweet that out. Want to know from you guys on how we think Kuran Higden will do this year. Will Kuran Higden have 1,200 yards rushing? We see he's on pace for that right now. Certainly in the regular season, at a bowl game, he'd be on pace to have well over 1,200 yards. But do you think he will? He's on pace for about 1,400 yards if you take the 12 plus a bowl game, not counting any playoffs, Big Ten championships. Type 1 for yes, type 2 for no. Below in comments if you're watching on Facebook Live on the Michigan Wolverines by Chat Sports page or on YouTube, go ahead and vote below. I am going to go for a yes. I do think that Michigan is going to have a improved running game throughout the year. I think Shea Patterson's ability to put the ball on the mark in a lot of different passing situations is going to open up Chris Evans, Kuran Higden for more. I think you'll see Kuran Higden get somewhere 12 to 1,400 yards. Chris Evans add about 600 or 700 himself. Want to tell you about our show sponsor. You've been seeing me wear this coat for a week, and they're almost ready to be sold to the public, but you can still take advantage of this amazing offer to get $100. I'm going to take my phone, put it in my back pocket, open this bad boy up, and show you Reveal Suits, the maize and blue lining with the Michigan Block M inside. I was talking to a friend yesterday. He's buying one. He said, hey, I'm going to walk into business meetings with Ohio State and Michigan State fans. I'm going to open this bad boy up, especially after we beat them this year. I'm going to laugh in their face. James, I can't wait to get one of these, and I'm going to take advantage of this $100 off. You got to email them because it's not even available for sale yet. info@revealsuits.com will lock you in the price. You've only got to end of day Sunday on the Sunday on the 16th. I almost got my days wrong there. September 16th is the day. Let's take it to number 2 on Stock Up, Stock Down. That is Shea Patterson. And let me kind of pretend Shea Patterson. I actually discredited his performance versus Notre Dame because of the interception, because of the no touchdown passes, because there was no wide receiver scoring touchdown, a game that a stat that went 12 games of a drought, and didn't think it was much of an improvement over what I saw last year in the stadium. It really didn't look like he was having that great a day. A lot of dink and dunk stuff, but ultimately his stats turned out okay. 20 of 30 passing, 1 interception, over 200-ish yards that game. Came back this past week, only 125-ish yards, much less than 200 yards passing. Very efficient. Finally got, guys into the end zone. You got Tariq Black. You got Donovan Peoples-Jones catching touchdown passes from Shea Patterson, and only the 1 interception, 2 turnovers on the year. So no interceptions. It's against Western Michigan, but I like the direction the Michigan offense is taking with Shea Patterson. I think that they really kind of showed me a couple of things this past week. The deep pass to Nico Collins for a touchdown. The fade in the corner of the end zone. Peoples-Jones was on the slot, went and faded out towards that flag route, hit him in stride right in the back corner. I like what I saw to Shea. I think last week was developing the run game. This week is going to be develop the passing game. So I really want to see, I talked about Kuran Higden getting loose, Shea Patterson, and when I go into my something to prove, you're going to hear about a wide receiver who really has to prove something with Shea Patterson. But want to know this question from you guys. Can Shea win the Heisman? I put $5 more on it this week. You can win $450. The odds are absurd if you do think you can win the Heisman, or if you just want to put $5, you might might win 450. I was showing my boy Mitchell Wren some chat sports. I got all kinds of money on Shea. I could win $2,000 plus just on like $20, $30 bet now because I keep doubling down on him. BetDSI is the place to do it. Chatsports.com/bet will get you to 120% bonus when you deposit with them for the first time. You got to use that promo code GOBLUE. Let's take it to number 3 on our stock up, stock down, and that is none other than fifth-year senior, kind of starter, kind of not. I don't know really to make of his position, the fourth linebacker position, but Noah Furbush is Chase Winovich light. They've got kind of the same haircut, play kind of the same position. He had that big interception early on against Western Michigan that got Michigan's defense going. That got really an easy score from the offense following it. A really athletic play, him jumping in front of the intended wide receiver, making that interception. Nice to see from Kuran Higden, and I think that he's going to continue to develop on that. We remember a few years back, Chase Winovich got in, made a few plays, and it really turned around what people's expectations were with Winovich. I know Furbush hasn't done a ton in his career, but I think in this fifth year, you can see some big-time plays out of him as we go through the season. Now that he's got a little bit of success, like Jim Harbaugh said about some other players, once you get that taste of success, you're like a shark in the water. You smell blood. Hope to see more of that from Noah Furbush. I've been getting bombarded with DMs. I've given away 15, 16, still waiting to verify some things from some other people. One of our partners is letting me give away Michigan football maize jerseys, but if you DM me yesterday, you find out everything in life, there's no such thing as a free lunch. So I'm not just shipping it to the first 20 people. You got to get signed up with one of our partners, but I will tell you this, the value of the jersey is worth more, and what you get from the partner is worth more than anything you're going to come out of pocket for. Is the best deal we've ever offered. You get a jersey, you get some free cash to use with our partner. You got to email, you got to DM me to get those details on Twitter at James T. Yoder. Don't send it on Facebook. Don't reply to YouTube. DM me on Twitter. That is the place to go. I gotta organize things to make sure people get the right message directly from me. So go ahead and do that right now. Let's head over to stock down, who is not living up to expectations, whose stock continues to plummet for the second week in a row. It's that left tackle position, currently occupied by little John Runyan, Big John Runyan's son, the former great Michigan lineman. John Runyan has not made an impact on this team. He has really been a liability, and again this week he did not live up to expectations. Multiple times I screen capped it. I showed the one on my Twitter account, an image of him actually blocking his own fellow offensive lineman. Did not know where he was going. Didn't have his head on straight. I've been calling for Jalen Mayfield or James Hudson, kind of depending how you flip-flop those positions. We know that Runyan was originally slated to be the right tackle, so somehow ended up with the left tackle. Should Mayfield and Hudson be the starters at the right tackle, left tackle position? Is it time? Have we seen enough poor performance out of Runyan and of Juwan Bushell-Beatty, the fifth-year senior, to make the call? I have predicted on Twitter what I think. I'm going to tell you what I think right here about Jalen Mayfield. I think he could get as many as 4 or 5 series in the second half this week, replace Runyan. And I do think next week there's a strong possibility, I'm saying it's just over 50% based on what I've heard, that they can make the decision to put one of those guys in the starting lineup and give the other guy a couple weeks. I think it's whichever of the two players, the younger guys, Hudson, the redshirt freshman, or Jalen Mayfield, the true freshman. Whoever performs better on Saturday in that backup duty is going to be in the starting lineup against Nebraska on September 22nd. All right, let's keep going. Stock down. Getting shutouts. Come on, man. First of all, why is Western Michigan kicking a field goal, a longer field goal, down 49-0 in the second half? It kind of seems a little spineless to me as just a football fan, a competitor. Maybe it's just trying to save face, but it's almost like if you're playing your big brother in basketball and he lets you get a layup so he feels bad. I wouldn't feel good about that. I'd want to drain a 3 in his face, even if I was down 49-0 or where the score was at that time. So definitely think that Western Michigan's coach took the easy way out to avoid the shutout. But hey, come on, Michigan. It's the second half. It's the fourth quarter. These backup guys, you shutout player all game. It feels so much better to get a shutout than it does to give up 3 points. Looks so much better in that scoreboard. So that's why that is on the stock down. I wish they would have got it. I think you're going to get another one potentially this week. You had 2 in a row had you got that shutouts. All right, next up, stock down, Jim Harbaugh's press conferences. Now, if you follow the blog boys and the pay websites, you're probably a Yoder Twitter troll saying, you were at the press conference, you don't go to this stuff, and there is a reason why I don't waste my time at Jim Harbaugh's press conferences, and the reason why it's stocked down, because frankly, he has made coach speak and giving no information an art form, and I think it's actually fairly, disrespectful and disingenuous to the people that go to those press conferences, that spend their time. You think about, you're going to a Harbaugh press conference, you're spending 4 or 5 hours of your day sitting there waiting for him, writing on it, transcribing all this stuff. It's a waste of time. He says nothing. I can get the same information from Chat Sports Studios of what Harbaugh says, which is basically nothing. If you take what Jim Harbaugh says in a press conference and expected to see that in a game, you will be seeing almost the exact opposite of maybe what your expectations are. So stock down on Jim Harbaugh's press conferences. They have become kind of a laughing stock. They were funny at first, kind of quirky, but lately he is just basically almost, I don't want to call him a liar, but he has just been telling tall tales, saying guys are week to week when they're out 6 to 8 weeks. It is just not even worth watching anymore. Stock down on Jim Harbaugh's press conferences. That is our stock down. We are presented by Reveal Suits. I'm going to do the phone in the back pocket again because I got to open this bad boy up. Info at Reveal Suits. You can get $100 off if you email them before Sunday, and you will get this jacket right here, ladies and gentlemen. I was walking around South Bend with this thing. I was getting Go Blues left and right. If you saw me there, you got the early $100 off that we're going to show you on screen right now. $100 off from Reveal Suits if you email them by the end of day Sunday. Info at revealsuits.com. It's what's inside Reveal Suits. Pre-order now. They are not available for sale on the website. You have to email them, and you will be the baddest ass MF on the streets wearing this coat going into a meeting with some Michigan State coworkers. All right, something to prove. Who has something to prove on the Michigan football team, Michigan football staff? These three folks right here. It's Peoples-Jones, it's Monet, it's the offensive line personnel decisions. Let's start with Donovan Peoples-Jones. So, saw an interesting stat yesterday. There is only one wide receiver on Ohio State's roster with more catches than Peoples-Jones. He's actually been, Michigan's leading, most receptions in the first 2 games of the year. 10 catches on the year. That 1 touchdown last game in the game against Western Michigan. But look at these stats. 10 catches, 69 yards. One player from Ohio State has more catches than Peoples-Jones, but 5 Ohio State wide receivers have more yards than him. Peoples-Jones is catching 4 and 5 and 3-yard routes. He has not been able to break a tackle on those routes, and he has not been able to get open downfield in that intermediate passing game. So the downfield and the intermediate passing game, Peoples-Jones has been completely absent. Didn't make any impact last year as a freshman, even though he was the starter for 11 of the 12 games, or I guess 12 of the 13 counting the bowl game. So he really needs to prove it. This dink and dunk stuff is not going to work. That's what we saw from guys like Tay Odoms back in 2008. Peoples-Jones should be going downfield more. If Michigan is going to have the season that people want and expected this year, he's got to have 10 catches for 69 yards, maybe 5 catches for 69 yards in a game and get up there in the 100-yard range. And you're not going to do that, catching 5, 6, 7-yard passes all day, every day. Braylon Edwards, his second year, was racking up 100-yard games like it was his job, which maybe it turned out to be in the NFL. So Peoples-Jones, you've got something to prove in the downfield passing game. Next up, Brian Monet. He is a guy who has basically been a slated starter or a slated contributor for 4 straight seasons. Got injured in Jim Harbaugh's first season as they had him slated as a starter, came back, was slated as a starter last year, lost his job to Aubrey Solomon, and now he's back in the starting lineup, kind of, if he can play up to expectations. So Aubrey Solomon is going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. I think the earliest you expect him back is maybe the Michigan State game. More likely, you wait after the bye week. He comes back for that Penn State game in early November after a knee operation last Friday. And Marshall is out as well. And with that being said, Brian Monet is getting a lot of snaps. He's getting starter snaps. You're missing 2 projected starters, or 2 guys who have started the game in their Michigan career out of the lineup on the defensive end. Brian Monet, now as a 5th-year senior, is your time to step up. Lawrence Marshall, Aubrey Solomon are out. You are on the clock, my man, or you're going to lose your position to a younger guy. Really thin on that interior defensive line right now. Brian Monet, you have something to prove. And lastly, Ed Warner, where are you at? National championship, best offensive line coach in the Big Ten, Ed Warner. So the scribes and the pundits were say the best offensive line coach in America would not continue to play this man, number 75. I don't have that good of eyes to zoom in and see what the last name is. We'll have to look up the roster, but if you look up and see who number 75 was, I don't think he should be playing. I think there's another guy on the offensive line that shouldn't be playing. The offensive line player personnel decision-making from Ed Warner, Jim Harbaugh, the offensive coaching staff really have left something to be desired with the lack of athleticism, lack of football smarts we've seen out of the tackle position so far this year. So, Ed Warner, you, sir, have something to prove. You have got to put the best players into the game. I don't care if it's the young guys. They definitely can't be worse than what we've seen if you get Jalen Mayfield, if you get James Hudson in the game this week against Southern Methodist, next week against Nebraska. And with that is our something to prove for Michigan football this Saturday against SMU from the Big House, 3:30 Eastern on Big Ten Network. And with that, Michigan is 1-1 for the year. Let's get it going below. Want to hear from you guys. 1-1. I'm talking about the 12-game regular season. Let's not try and project the bowl game or Big Ten championship games or the playoff. Let's just say the 12 games in the schedule. What will the regular season record be? I want to know from you guys. I think there's a lot of optimism when you blow out a team 49-0 or 49-3, a team that's not very good. There'll be a lot more optimism when they blow out SMU this week. But tell me below in comments. I'll get in there in just a few minutes here after I'm done filming this show. Let me know. Facebook Live and YouTube Live. You see the subscribe below. Chat Sports has our Facebook channel. We are our YouTube channel. We also have a new Michigan football YouTube channel that you can go to subscribe there. You look up Michigan Football Report on YouTube, and you can get that bad boy going today. We presented and clothed by Mizzen & Main. I showed you the reveal suits. The shirt underneath this bad boy is from Mizzen & Main, the best dress shirt on the market, performance fabrics. Check them out, comfortable.af. Yes, that is the website, comfortable.af. We will be back Saturday morning with Michigan football mailbag. I've got 20-ish questions from you guys, the audience, and we will see you then. Go Blue.